So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today I got three members from the band Vacuous. They're a death metal band from the UK, and they're about to release their major label debut on Relapse Record on February the 28th. It's called In This Blood, and we're here all to talk about it. So, first of all, guys, how are you over there in the UK?
Yeah, good. It's nighttime here. It's cold, but yeah, we're doing well. Looking forward to getting the album out finally. It's been a long time that we've been sitting on it.
Yeah. So, first, for people that don't know you, let me know your name and what you do in the band.
Okay, I'll go first because I was speaking. My name's Michael. I play guitar in the band, and I guess started the band about 5 years ago.
Okay.
I'm Ezra. I'm the other guitarist in the band.
Uh, Now we can't hear you, man. No, you're muted, Zach. Well, Zach is the bass player. We'll get back to you, Zach, when you don't worry about it. Yeah, we'll get back to you. Yeah, because we can't hear you right now. So Zach is
Yeah.
the bass player. So we have three members from the band, and yes, this is. I listened to the album. It's a very punishing death metal album. So tell me a little bit about the story of how you guys started the band. I'm guessing Michael, since you said that you were the founder of the band.
Yeah. So when the band started, it was myself and Joe, who's not here, who's the singer of the band. At the time, he was drumming and doing vocals, and we got introduced. So we didn't know each other before the band. We got introduced by kind of a mutual acquaintance of ours called Seth, the guy who sings in like hardcore punk bands. Um, and he knew that I was looking to start like an extreme metal band and said, "There's this drummer who's into the same stuff." And so yeah, that's how I met Joe. And he was jamming with a guy called Damien, who's our former bass player, and that was the original lineup of the band. And we just started like jamming, and we quickly put together some riff ideas and some songs, and we did like a really rough demo that was mainly just for us to kind of like figure out what we wanted to do. It was, yeah, we recorded it like ourselves in our rehearsal room and then just put it up on Bandcamp. And that was April or March 2020. So like literally as we did it, then the lockdown happened. So we weren't really like able to rehearse or play shows or anything for a really long time. So instead, what we did was just focus on writing songs during that time. So the three of us were doing stuff remotely, like sending riffs back and forth. And that ended up becoming an EP, which is called Catabasis, and that came out at the end of 2020. And because we weren't meeting in person, we were kind of getting more and more ambitious with like the songwriting, and that's when we realized that like, we needed a bigger lineup if we wanted to do the songs that we envisaged. So um, Joe stepped down from the drums. We got our current drummer Max in to take over that. Same with guitar, like the guitar parts were just getting more intricate. So we asked Ezra to join, and yeah, Zach joined us the following year after that when our old bass player left. So and here we are today.
Awesome. So yeah, no, the album's pretty awesome. So you have a first single that you're promoting, and it's called "In This Blood," which opens the album up. I think it's a great way to open up. So I know most of the lyrics are written by your singer, Joe Shen, but uh, do you guys have like in the like in the lyrics, do you all contribute as a band, or how does that work?
It's mainly Joe, to be honest. We talk about the themes, but when it comes to like the actual lyrics and placements, we give him like free reign. If he asks for feedback, we'll give it to him, but like that's really his department, to be honest.
Okay. Uh, and the music, like you guys, how do you like the writing of the songs, the music? How do you tackle the music writing as a team?
It's a lot of it is like will people will come up with like song ideas and sort of sketches for it, and we'll do that outside of the rehearsal room, like on people's computers. We'll send riffs to each other and then give each other feedback. And then when we kind of like have something that we think is good enough for us to work on, then we'll take it into the rehearsal room. Um, and yeah, it's kind of like trial and error from there.
Yeah. So what about you, Ezra? Uh, in what's your process like when approaching, working on this album?
In terms of songs, it's really just as Michael said. Normally more than just a riff. Normally one of us will write uh, what we think to be a good guitar or bass track to a song, and then send it to the others, and they'll give their feedback. Overtrack it in their own on the laptop, send it back and forth until we condense and are happy on something, and then we'll try it out live in the room. And then quite often, further amendments happen. Just that sound better live.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
awesome.
this time around, we had our producer, Stan, who he engineered and produced the record, and he was actually involved earlier on in the process. Like, so we had like a fresh and it kind of like an external pair of ears. We were sending him the demos like as we were writing them. So he actually had a lot of creative input on this album, and I don't think it would have turned out the same way without Stan. So shout out to him.
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
awesome. So, hey, Zach, I think we got you
You can
now,
hear
right?
me now. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
You sound like a commercial, but yes. So, Zach, sorry about that. So,
That's
so
okay.
yeah, you were one of the last members to join the band then, Zach, right?
I was, yeah. Yeah, it was weird. Joe reached out to me, and he was like, I think he was like, "Can you learn all the songs for a gig in like 2 days or something?" And I was like, I'm not sure I can do that, but yeah, I don't know. I just sort of met. I went to one of the Vacuous shows in London and met the guys, and I guess they were like, "Yeah, we'll try."
Awesome. So,
So I
do
just
you
like
guys
learnt the
think?
song.
Do you guys think that working on your previous like EPs and albums like more remotely made you like work harder as a band? Because I'm guessing this one you did meet to do the recording, or did you do most of stuff remote as well?
It's a mix. I think like
Mhm.
we kind of like I think it's a work in progress, to be honest. Like we obviously like we started off doing the remote thing because we had no choice. And like it has advantages because like we all have really busy schedules, so like there's not a lot of time for us all five be in the same room. So that's just how we have to work. But for In His Blood, like we really wanted it to sound like the five of us playing together. So yeah, I think the way I felt after the previous album, Dreams of Dysphoria, is that it didn't we were happy with it, but I don't think it sounds how we sound as a band um when we play live. And I think this time around we actually spent time like actually rehearsing it, and we recorded without click track. So it just sounds really natural, and I think it's closer to how we really are as a band.
Yeah, live this thing has to sound pretty kick-ass. So let me show the artwork for this record. I know that people can pre-order it on Relapse. I saw like all the vinyl variants that I may show later. So yeah, this is Vacuous in His Blood. And is this a picture? Tell me a little bit about the album cover.
Yeah, it's a photo. So the idea for the cover is something that our singer Joe essentially came up with to go with the themes of the album, which are like kind of how violence and violent imagery is consumed by individuals in society, and the impact that has us on us, like mentally, emotionally, etc. And there's one photo that he had as a reference, which was someone who had murdered someone and like then was bragging about it on Twitter, just kind of like a really
Oh my
extreme
God.
example. Yeah, exactly. So it's like a really extreme example of how fucked kind of, sorry, I don't know if I can swear, how messed up our
Oh yeah, you can swear here.
all right, cool. Um, just kind of our relation with like what we project, how we consume violence, and our relationship with that. So anyway, what we found a photographer that got recommended to us by a friend of ours, and told him the idea of like, let's try to recreate something that's like not visually cool, but also just got that like really gritty underpinning. So we actually found a location in central London. It's like a condemned building. So we had to sneak in, like, it was like boarded up. We had to like take the boards off the windows and crawl under it and break in essentially. And yeah, like what you're seeing on the screen there is it's meant to look like blood, but in reality, it's soy sauce that our singer Joe stole from his job.
Do not say stole, say borrowed.
Sorry, if you're Joe's employer, you didn't hear that. He borrowed it.
Yeah.
He gave it back.
He borrowed the soy sauce. But so well, it looks cool, and it's good that it's not the actual blood. But yeah, now that you say that, I don't know how old you guys are, but I'm thinking you're younger than me because I grew up a lot in the 90s. And in the 90s, I think is when like violence started to get more desensitized because there was these videos, they were called Faces of Death. And basically, they were videos where you saw like horrible shit that now you see all over the internet, but back then you couldn't get your hands on. I had a neighbor that loved watching that shit. I would have swore that he would have become a serial killer, but no, he's an engineer. But yeah, I think all that stuff has desensitized us, and now we see, like you say, this the story of someone bragging on social media about killing someone, which is it's unheard of, and like you said, fucked up. So this is a very serious. You tackle like very serious and hard hitting themes on this record. Was it a conscious decision? You always like let's always something hard hitting and not have like your like hey, let's just do a typical death metal song about zombies or drinking beer or something like that.
Um, I mean, like it would be, I don't know, Joe would probably be the one to answer this, but like, um, yeah, I think the main thing about whatever the theme of a song is, it's not like, oh, it has to be like hard hitting. It's more like some of the stuff that death metal bands sing about, like you say, zombie or
Mhm.
classic horror films. It's like it kind of hits a bit like in a tongue-in-cheek comical way sometimes. Whereas
Yeah.
I think the kind of emotion that the band always wants to convey is like it's like anchored in our world. It's not this like fantasy thing. It's got to be like, yes, it's more about like human and emotional impact of all these horrible things rather than kind of this, grotesque fantasy horror thing that which is great. Like we all love that stuff, but that's not what we want to convey with this band, if that makes sense.
No, that makes total sense, and I think I enjoy that because you're talking about like real horror stuff that's happening, and let's be frank, a lot of people don't like to talk about that stuff because it's uncomfortable subject matter. But unfortunately, things happen, and if people don't discuss it, like they'll keep happening, and no one will do anything about it. That's why a song like Contraband, which I thought was a great song, but when I was reading what the inspiration is about, about 39 Vietnamese migrants who were like killed, suffocated, trying to come over to England. I'm like, wow, it's hard hitting, and right now it's a topic that we are seeing in the real world, especially like uh, countries like the US, for example, where they're like sending people over. So it's 2025, and this stuff still happens. So I'm guessing it's very important to talk about them. And also another song that you had on the record that I thought like was like really hard hitting was the song "Hunger," uh, which I also thought was like very intense about it. And like I could tell when I was listening to this that you were talking about real human emotions. So yeah, like so recording this, like, would you say like which song on the album for you guys was maybe the hardest song to write?
Oh, to write. Um, yeah, I don't know. In terms of to record, it's the song Stress Positions. I think we all three of us would agree because it's like
Yeah.
physically the hardest song to play for all of us.
Yeah, it's
In
definitely the
terms of
most demanding. I think maybe in terms of writing, at least it might be the last song on the album, No Longer Human, just because that's I think that's the only time so far when we've kind of delved into just, well, literally nothingness. It's got that bit near the end of the song, which is more, everything drops out, and it was just getting the layers of guitar to kind of fill the gap correctly.
yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna
yeah,
say
that was kind of new for us as well. Yeah,
Yeah. What about you, Zach?
I was gonna say that I don't know, like a song like Contraband, I don't think I'd really done anything like that before, and wasn't necessarily tough to record, but it was kind of we had to sort of work with Stan as well to get it to sound like right in the way that like we wanted it to sound, because it's sort of there are songs on In His Blood which have cleaner sections, and we were kind of delving into some more like goth influences, so it's like a sound that we hadn't really done before, so we were trying to sort of experiment and get it to sound like like you were saying before, getting it to sound real and not like a sort of pastiche of not like a cliched version of like goth music or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah. No, awesome stuff. And so that when once you release the album, like what are the plans that you have right now for the band? Are you like doing some shows? Like what's next for the band?
we've got a show like the day after the album comes out. We're playing a festival in London called Life After Death, which is like this really kind of special event that a friend of ours who runs a record shop in London called Crypto the Wizard, he put together. Um, so we're going to play the whole album at that show. I don't think we'll be doing that at other shows. Um, but that felt like kind of a special thing. Then we're doing a week tour in April, like a UK headline tour thing. And yeah, later in the year we've got some festivals in Europe dotted around, like some one-offs. So and yeah, we'll see. Like hopefully when the album comes out, we'll get some cool offers to play new places.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. So, well, you got signed to Relapse Record, which is a great record label. Every time I think of Relapse, I remember Mastodon, because that's when I discovered them through Blood and Thunder. So I'm like if like that's a record label that I respect always the bands that they have on their roster because they always have like some amazing bands. Tell us how you got signed to Relapse. Is there a cool story behind it?
You have to
Y
thank Charlie.
yeah, go for it, Zach.
Can you hear me? Or is my
Yes, I can
mic
hear
not
you,
Yeah,
Zach.
go for it, man.
Okay. Um, I guess we have to thank Charlie, who just mentioned runs Crypt of the Wizard and is, does Life After Death Festival as well. He kind of put us in touch with them. And yeah, it was, I mean, I guess it was a bit of a surprise for us, but it was perfect. It's like the perfect label for the record. We've all listened to bands on Relapse. We all like respect bands that are on that label, and yeah, how could you say no?
Yeah, you guys sound so humble and nice and serene, just unlike the music that you guys play. like, like you you know when I look at Zach, I'm like, yeah, it's going the pit is going to be intense when when you look at Zach. Yeah, he's got that like that proper look, like he's going to bash you into intensity. So yeah, so the guy in the record shop got you untouched. That's why it's always cool to have like friends that refer you. I got you guys to laugh. That's good. So yeah, I want to show where people can get the variants. Uh, Here's the store for Relapse Records. So yeah, I see that you have a lot of like stuff like variants and stuff like how
Yeah,
like
that's
yeah.
that's all Relapse. They kind of when we gave them the artwork, they're kind of like, all right, here are the ideas for the colors, and we just trusted them, to be honest. Like, it all looks good, and they know what sells, right? So we trust their judgment.
Yeah, no, they did a great job, especially because you look at those variants and they look just like the cover, uh,
Yeah.
which is good because sometimes there's some bands that put a variant and the album has like the variant has like 17 colors, and I'm like
Mm.
no, like it doesn't go with the record. But you got your sleeves, you got your shirts. I see you got your CD there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no tapes. Uh, in the future, maybe tapes,
Maybe
cassettes,
that's
because
up to Relapse. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
it would be
because
cool.
I can't understand why by the life of me anyone would want to buy a fucking cassette, but
I
like
mean, people do
I
it,
grew up in the
Yeah,
90s. I hated them. I hated when I put them in the car and then they ate the tape, or I couldn't fast forward. I don't. I was more of a CD, and now
Yeah.
collecting vinyl, uh, which is kind of like weird. Like we go through circle. So you guys, you're ready for having that out. So like since you guys, you play this heavy style, like for you guys, if you had to like tour like with a band, like, and anyone can answer this, which band would be like the ultimate dream tour to tour with? Yeah. Everyone can have a different answer.
I'll need to think about this a little bit.
Okay. Mm,
I don't know. I feel like I've like you asked that question and like 10 names popped into my head. So picking just one is hard.
yeah.
I think the band that we all collectively would be excited to tour with the most, and it's a band that doesn't tour, would be Autopsy. Um, just because like we all have like really different tastes in the band, but I think that's like, if I may be mistaken, but I think that's the one band that like we all like. And they just kind of, especially with this album where the kind of really spontaneous punky thing is to the forefront. I think they'd make a really good fit. And yeah, they've just been like an inspiration for us for a long time.
I could see that. So, does do you other guys, Ezra or Zach agree?
Um, yeah, I agree. I was gonna say there's some cool bands that are on our booking agent actually, like Godflesh. Be cool to play a show with them. I think we.
Yeah, awesome. So guys, it's been great to chat with you and listen to the record. Uh, I would recommend this to anyone who likes, obviously extreme metal music, but extreme metal music, obviously with some heavy themes. they would enjoy this. So before I let you guys go, anything that you'd like to say to the people before we go?
Yeah, I hope everyone likes it.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy it when it comes out. Thanks for watching this interview if you've got this far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope you like the record and be nice to each other.
Yeah, you guys are too nice. I would be like, you know what? Buy my fucking record. Like
Yeah, I
I
mean,
work hard on it, so please buy it. But yeah, but you guys, you're very polite and awesome to talk to. So I want to thank you, everyone, for taking some time of your day, to chat with me from the UK here to Puerto Rico. So Couchers, the album is out February the 28th. So Vacuous in his blood. So until next time. This is Hector, the Shield Dude on a couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.